Welcome. This is where we talk the truth, like it or not. We give our opinions, suggestions, we pity no one. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and listen, button of notification.
Hi everyone, welcome to True Platform. I'm going to talk about DPP, Paula Llewellyn, and the Vybz Kartel case, and also a mother that took her daughter to court for $600 she stole from a saving pan. All right. First, let me start off with the mother that took the child. She's trying to teach her daughter a lesson, right? Nothing wrong with that. Take her to court, teaching her not to steal again, right? But a problem with it that I find with it is that she took the child to court, the child pled guilty, and guess what? The child now have a police record. All right? Listen to this. You can't tell anyone how to bring their child up, right? But you have to think twice when you're doing something like that. Let me read a story to you. A mother took her 18-year-old daughter to court for stealing a steel tin pan containing $600 worth of coins from her. The daughter, Kitara Manning, pleaded guilty to simple larceny in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday. Oh my goodness. The money that the mother used to do this case, to bring up this case, is more than $600. The lesson that they're teaching a child is not to steal. So when you grow up older, I won't be in any trouble because they won't be calling me for bail money for me to bail you out. The problem is, my dear, you didn't think, is that this is going to be on the child's police record when she's trying to acquire a job or get certain things done, going to the embassy or doing something like that. This is going to be on the child's record. You stupid or you stupid? Come on, no people. Jeez. Anyways, in other news, Miss Paula Llewellyn. You obsessed with Vybz Kartel, Adidja Palmer, Sean Storm and the crew? I'm not saying you're not supposed to do your job. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But there seems to be something going on more than a trial here. All right, because what you've been posting and saying, to the media, it seems more personal. All right. If he did something wrong, allegedly, he was charged for murder for Clive Blizzard Williams, right? And the Court of Appeal, the Privy Council Court of Appeal, I said, quash it and go for a retrial. All right. You choose to go for a retrial. Yes, people. She did it. She chose to go for a retrial. The man, if he's guilty, fine, do your time, right? But what I'm getting from this is not that she's doing her job. And why isn't she nor the judge stepping down? Not because of this case, but because of the error that was done in this case. You understand what I'm saying? If it was anywhere, road would be blocking, protesting and stuff like that for her to step down because she didn't do her job properly. She not the lawyer, not the prosecuting lawyer. All right? Don't get me wrong. Not taking up for anyone, but I'm splitting justice here. This is True Platform. My lady, don't be personal. The judge, for the reason set above, the board will humbly advise His Majesty that the applicant's conviction should be quashed. And it goes on to say, if you want to do a retrial. But Miss Paula Llewellyn, DPP Paula Llewellyn, came out and she was on many social media talking about the case. If it is heading for a retrial or you plan to do a retrial, why coming out and talk about the case to the public? That means that he's not going to have a fair trial because when you put the jury, everybody make up their mind already. Don't it? Lady, think twice. And you say you're heading for a retrial. I think, in my opinion, they should be like, if you want to keep them, yeah, but they should be out on bail if the lawyers apply for bail. I don't think you're going to do that. Know why? Because you're up in your feelings. Lady, do your job, not about your feelings or about who you like or who you don't like. How many people sitting in prison right now that you've done wrong? I think you should step down, give somebody else a chance to fit in and continue this job. If they want to retry, they want to do whatever, they want to throw the case or whatever, but not you, Miss Paula Llewellyn. You messed up. You messed up. I'm going to read something to you people. It says the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, Paula Llewellyn, says her office will ask the Court of Appeal to order a retrial for Vybz Kartel and its 3 co-accused. The DPP says her office would be guided by the law in making submissions before the Court of Appeal on the matter. Kartel whose given name, is Adidja Palmer, Sean Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John's, and their murder convictions overturned in the Privy Council last Thursday. Right? The Privy Council said, yeah, they can go for a retrial if they want. It's up Jamaica retrial if they want to. Right? But it's quashed, meaning they had no longer have a charge against them, meaning they're not murderers, they're not convicted prisoners, they're nothing at all, right? They're still in court because they're waiting on paperwork from the lawyer, from the Privy Council to, whenever somebody gets signed up a deed, then they get it signed by a JP and then they hand over the paper to you to make the case final, a paperwork final so you can now own whatever it is you're owning. That is what you're doing right now. All right, Miss Llewellyn, she went on Cliff Lee's show, and this is what she's saying, people.
Heat from the Vybz Kartel Privy Council ruling continue. And this morning, for the first time, the DPP was responding since the judgment came down last Thursday morning. And she was asked by Tona and Ricardo about the advice she gave to the judge in the trial after it was revealed that there was an attempt to bribe the jurors.
DPP, having been told that all of your jurors in 2014 had been offered a $500,000 bribe, why did you not advise the judge that it was probably best to dismiss the jury, which was now obviously tainted?
You see, you are now trying to get me to discuss the matter, and I told you that I didn't wish to.
No, but certainly this point, DPP, is important because here the law lords are saying you advised the judge that you were prepared to proceed even though you knew that the entire panel, 11 jurors the forewoman told you, had been offered bribes. Wouldn't that mean in your judgment, DPP, that the entire jury, as the law lords have now found, was contaminated and should have been terminated or discharged?
Well, first of all, I am not the judge.
True, but you gave advice that you were prepared to proceed, and what I'm trying to understand.
You were prepared to proceed.
But why were you prepared to proceed with a jury that was contaminated?
No. All the other factors, that some of which I cannot go into in terms of.
So you were thinking about cost. You were thinking about how long the matter had been going.
We were also thinking of security issues. There were a lot of other issues that we cannot go into the public domain, and what our information from the foreman was, what she was saying.
People here just stuttering and beating around the bush. The Cliff Hughes from Nationwide News Network asked her question and she beating around the bush and not answering the question in detail. Typical lawyers and politicians. There's not more.
Was that all of the attempts had to do with acquittal. Clearly, if it had been the other way, we would have, clearly, given the overriding objective of any case, which is fairness to the accused. But what would have been perhaps planted in the mind of the jurors is, okay, you need to acquit. And remember that these persons, at least 2 of them, are very famous. So it would have been, as far as the prosecution, when we discussed it, we would have been those ones at a great disadvantage. This is not the first time.
But with the greatest respect, DPP, that's not persuasive, because what I want you to focus on is the fact that the process now had been corrupted and contaminated, and you advised the judge that you were comfortable proceeding with a contaminated and corrupt process.
This is not the first time that I have had to deal with jury tampering.
Not the first time she had to deal with jury tampering. I wonder what was the outcome of those case or that case. So she's known for those things in court. Shed more light, lady. Shed more light.
Be that as it may, in the exercise of your judgment, why did you not see it fit to bring to an end a matter that had been corrupted?
After 64 days of trial?
Now they carried now 64 days of trial. So that's why she rushed and them hurry up the case, because them tell them want to go home and them want to make more money and them want to enjoy them family and enjoy them. Say them not do split justice. Them not do right. Them hurry up and do the wrong thing and mess up themselves and other people's lives.
Isn't the interest of protecting the impartial trial greater than the length of time that had elapsed?
I agree with you on paper, but I have done other cases where there has been jury tampering to the great negative of the prosecution. I have seen cases, I've seen jury inquiries where the juror, having been questioned, it was quite clear that it was either an accused person or an accused person's relative that approached the juror. And the juror was able to indicate to the court that it did not make any difference. He would still be able to have an impartial situation in his mind. I have had the experience. I've prosecuted many cases, and when asked, I have indicated that we don't have any problem. So in other words, we are prepared to take our chances and just try to make sure that you have a very powerful address. But this what happened in a couple of the cases I've dealt with didn't happen during summation. It happened before we got to summation. So I have had the experience before of jury tampering. And I have been asked before, what is my view, being the prosecutor in the matter? And even after the inquiry, it's a judgment. It's quite clear that you don't know if the juror is telling you everything about the encounter with the relative of the accused, but you are willing to take the chance nonetheless. So it has happened. I mean, both myself and Mr. Taylor, who was the prosecutor, we didn't drop from the sky. It's not the first case that we are both having to deal with. And in our experience, we have had to deal with cases where you have issues arising.
With the benefit of hindsight, do you regret the submissions you made?
You are not going to get me there. You are not going to get me.
Well, quite an interesting 5 minutes of exchanges there. And the takeaway for me is the DPP seems to be relying on the fact that in her long prosecutorial career, she has made a judgment call, several judgment calls, in a number of instances of jury tampering. And I wonder, does that make it legally correct? It might be a call that has been wrong. Because surely, based on what we now have from the Privy Council, jury misconduct undermines the fundamental principle of the justice system of the accused being entitled to a fair trial. And the fact that you have been doing it several occasions before does not make it right. Those who have been in such matters, do they have cause, reason to wonder at minimum? It is, Madam DPP, quite a space we are in.
the woman talk BABS a while ago. BABS, people. The part that hit me is she is confirming that they have done case with jury tampering before. Me and you don't know that. She just come out and said, what happened to those people, those cases that she, Paula Llewellyn mentioned, that they were bribery in those cases. Are the people out on the road free, or are they locked up in prison? Lady, retire, resign, step down, bye. Anyway, people, remember to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and as usual, hit that bell button for notification. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye-bye.